A mixed night for Arsenal with Bukayo Saka returning after 100 days away and scoring the winner, but it looks like, not good news. They've lost Gabriel for next week's game against Real Madrid. Wolves beat West Ham to pretty much relegate the bottom three, and Forest moved a step closer to a place in next season's Champions League with a 1-0 victory and a wonderful goal too against Manchester United. Let's round all up with talkSPORT's voice of live football, Adrian Durham. Adrian, good morning. How are you, pal?
Morning, Aid.
Morning, Ali. Morning, Dean. Good to be with you this morning.
It's great you're here this morning. Ed, we've had some guy on Texans trying to tell us it's not the best league in the world. What's going on?
Listen, it is all about opinion. I personally think it is. I think there's drama with it. It's like last night, for example. There weren't millions of goals in the 3 games, but there's stories, there's drama everywhere you look. You can argue about the technical quality. You could even argue about the competitiveness with the 3 that came up, going straight back down for the second season running. There's debates to be had everywhere. But for me, it's the most compelling. So in that respect, I'd definitely make it the best league in the world, without doubt.
Look at Forest.
Yeah,
they nearly got relegated last year.
Unbelievable story. But I mean, they are having an absolutely incredible, no other word for it, incredible season.
Yeah, they are, and they were a joy last night. One of the great things about Forest, if you've not been to the City Ground, under the lights, the fans make it very, very special.
Correct.
You were there, you'll have witnessed that. It's brilliant on a Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock, but under the lights, it's just something special by the Trent. And obviously, Dino, you were there, so you know all about it as well. But if you haven't witnessed that, it's one of those you need to tick off, in my opinion, from your list. But Forest, I thought, were brilliant. They attacked Man United from the off, scored a fantastic goal from Elanga. I think the whole stadium was saying, pass it, give it to your left, give it. And then he hits the back of the net and everybody erupts. It was a fantastic goal and a great story with Elanga against his old club. And I wouldn't say they held on, because Man United, they had some chances, had a lot of possession, but didn't really do a huge amount with it. And by the end, he's throwing on Harry Maguire and they're lumping it forward, and you're wondering what on earth has happened to Manchester United.
Do you know when you look at both teams, Ed, you can see the difference. One's a team and the other one's 11 individuals individually trying to keep their head above water and stay in the team. They're just miles apart.
Yeah, I mean, there were players. Garnacho is an example here. He's clearly got something in his game. He's clearly a very good player. There's something there that needs working on, needs bringing out, and it will improve as time goes on. And I'm not saying he was the worst player, but I'm looking at him thinking, you're way better than this.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Amorim as well, who's getting a lot of grief, particularly over the Rashford situation. I think he's just come in. There's a hodgepodge of players. He's trying to implement a style. That's all gone terribly wrong. They're going to finish bottom half of the table. They might still win the Europa League. Let's not forget that. But I think you look at it in the summer, he has got a big job to do. Judge him on next season rather than now. It's a complete mess on the pitch at Manchester United. But there are 1 or 2 good players he can work with. And then let's see what the window can bring. But they're a mess. I did a stat yesterday where Man United, that was their first chance this season to win back-to-back Premier League games.
Incredible.
And they haven't won back-to-back games in a league season for over 100 years. It's incredible. Sorry, let me correct that stat. They've won back-to-back games every season for more than 100 years. This will be the first time since the early 1920s that they didn't do it.
It's remarkable, Ed. Ed, I want to briefly, if I may, go back to Garnacho. I think one of the differences with Garnacho, I thought he'd come into the game of it last 20-25 minutes when United are pressing. But see the difference when he holds his wide position. You know the way they started with Fernandes and Garnacho kind of in a little bit centrally towards Zirkzee? I just think he's more suited to come and get the ball as quickly as possible out to him in a wide area so he can isolate a full-back and go. I mean, I just thought the difference the last 10-15 minutes, he didn't have a great night, but I just think he got on the ball a lot more.
You know what, Ali, you're spot on, and that is game smart, isn't it? That comes from on the training ground with somebody who's been there, done it, whether it's a coach or an experienced player, somebody putting their arm around him saying, tell you what, in the middle of a game, why don't you do this, or stay out there, or come inside here, or do this. Somebody with a bit of smarts, a bit of experience, bit of know-how, telling him how to just tweak his game so that you can get the very best out of him. And with you, he got back into, like I said, he wasn't the worst player.
No.
It's just, I know there's a better player in there, and Amorim and Man United are not getting it out of him at the moment.
Ed, enjoy tonight, mate. It's the best league in the world. Don't worry about that. Enjoy, mate. Keep up the good work.
Cheers.
Now, coming up, we discuss Arsenal's most important players heading into the game against Real Madrid next week. What a massive, massive week it's coming up. Is the Gabriel injury arguably more important than Saka's? I think it potentially could be. That's our focus next. And if you want to have your say, please give us a call. 03717 22 3344.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.